Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to learn about the blood physiology. This lecture is made completely for the allied health students to understand the concept of the blood, about the physiology of the blood, and this lecture is made completely from the Guyton. This chapter is included in the Guyton book, and we will inshallah cover all the topics related to the blood for the allied health students. So today is the first chapter of the first topic of the blood from the Guyton, where we will learn first of all the blood composition, the general functions of the blood, plasma proteins, and then production and the function of the important plasma proteins. So, first of all, what is blood? Blood is classified as a connective tissue and it consists of two main components, plasma and the formed elements. Basically, blood का जो main purpose है, जो main function है, वो ये है कि एक पार्ट ऑफ बॉडी को दूसरे पार्ट ऑफ बॉडी के साथ कनेक्ट किए रखना, जितनी भी न्यूट्रिएंट्स, ऑक्सीजन, गैसेस, अदर एंजाइम्स हैं उन्हें कन्वे करना फ्रॉम वन पार्ट ऑफ बॉडी टू द अदर पार्ट ऑफ द बॉडी. सो दैट्स व्हाई इट फॉल्स इन द कैटेगरी ऑफ कनेक्टिव टिश्यू. इट इज़ ए कनेक्टिव टिश्यू. ब्लड को हम दो पार्ट्स में डिवाइड कर सकते हैं. दो पार्ट्स इसके ब्लड में है हमारे पास. फर्स्ट इज द प्लाज्मा एंड द सेकेंड इज द एलिमेंटल पोर्शन. Plasma is a clear extracellular fluid, and the formed elements are made up of the blood cells and platelets. It circulates in the closed system of the vessels and provide medium to transport substances from one part of body to the other. Composition: blood is made of two parts. First is the plasma. Now, what is the composition of the plasma? Plasma is a fluid part which makes up 55% of the blood volume. And then plasma contains 90 to 92% water and 8 to 9% solid part. And in solid part, it is further classified into inorganic and organic substances. Inorganic includes the sodium, potassium, magnesium, phosphorus, iron, copper, and the organic portion contains obviously proteins, fat, carbohydrates, and other substances. प्रोटीन्स में हमारे पास इंपॉर्टेंट सीरम एल्बुमिन है, सीरम ग्लोबुलिन है, फिब्रिनोजन है और प्रोथ्रोम्बिन है. And in non-protein portion, we have nitrogenous substances like urea, uric acid, xanthine, hypoxanthine, creatinine, ammonia, amino acids, creatinine, and etc. फैट्स में फॉस्फोलिपिड्स आ जाते हैं, कोलेस्ट्रोल्स आ जाते हैं, न्यूट्रल फैट आ जाते हैं. कार्बोहाइड्रेट हमारे पास मौजूद है ब्लड में इन द फॉर्म ऑफ ग्लूकोज. इसके अलावा अदर सब्सटेंसेस लाइक डिफरेंट इंटरनल ऑर्गेनिक सिक्रीशंस, एंटीबॉडीज, enzymes, etc. Now, plasma. Plasma is the part of extracellular fluid which is identical to the interstitial fluid, but it contains 7% proteins while interstitial fluid contains 2% proteins. From the MCQ point of view, this is very important question, that what is the difference between the interstitial fluid and extracellular fluid, or you can say what is the difference between the interstitial fluid and plasma. So the answer lies in the composition of protein, presence of protein. 7% protein is present in the plasma, or you can say in ECF, and only 2% protein lies in the interstitial fluid. That's the difference. That's the answer. That what is the difference between the interstitial fluid and extracellular fluid. Now, serum. Serum is a fluid part of the blood which expresses out after clotting due to clot retraction. It resembles plasma, but it lacks fibrinogen and other clotting factors. सो व्हाट इज सीरम? बेसिकली एज द क्लॉट रिट्रैक्ट्स, जब भी हमारी वेसल को कट लगता है, कोई हैमरेज होता है, तो फ़ौरन वहाँ पर क्लॉट बन जाता है. अब जब क्लॉट रिट्रैक्ट होता है तो कुछ फ्लूइड ऊजेज आउट हो जाता है, बाहर निकल आता है. वो जो फ्लूइड बाहर निकलता है उसे हम सीरम कहते हैं. अब एमसीक्यू पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से यहाँ भी एक इम्पॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन लाई करता है कि व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द सीरम एंड द प्लाज्मा. The answer again lies in the presence of fibrinogen and other clotting factors. प्लाज्मा में फिब्रिनोजन और क्लॉटिंग फैक्टर्स मौजूद हैं, जबकि सीरम के अंदर फिब्रिनोजन और क्लॉटिंग फैक्टर्स मौजूद नहीं हैं. Now the elemental portion of the blood. First we were learning about the plasma portion of the blood. Now it's formed elements are so named because they are enclosed in the plasma membrane and have a definite structure and the shape. And the elements present in the blood are number one, erythrocytes, which is also known as red blood cells. Number two, leukocytes, which are also called white blood cells. And the white blood cell, number three is the platelets. Now the white blood cells are further subcategorized into granulocytes and agranulocytes. Granulocytes include neutrophils, eosinophils, and basophils, while the agranulocytes include lymphocytes and the monocytes. These are the elements which are present in the blood after the plasma. First was the plasma, now the elemental portion, and elemental portion contain erythrocyte, leukocytes, and the platelets. Here you can see the vessel. It contains the blood, which are made of formed elements. Now we will study the general functions of the blood. Number one, very important, as we all know, blood transport the oxygen from the level of lungs to the other parts of the body, and carbon dioxide as a waste material from the cells from the other parts of body to the lungs. Number two, it transport food from the GIT, and number two, from the storage deposits in the body. Number three, it transport excretory metabolite and products from tissue to the excretory organs like kidneys, lungs, intestines, skin, etc. Blood also carries various hormones, enzymes, antibodies, vitamins, or inorganic and organic salts, and other chemicals to their places of activity. Blood also contains the defensive function, as we all know, neutrophils and macrophages, which are the formed elements, are present in the blood. They eat up, engulf, destroy the harmful bacteria. Antibodies are also present in the blood, so they kill the different harmful organism and cure the diseases. Number four, it contains clotting factors, so it prevents hemorrhage by coagulation. Last, blood also has some regulatory functions. It regulates various functions. Number one, water balance, acid base balance, iron balance, blood volume, blood pressure, blood viscosity, and osmotic pressure. Now, first of all, we will study about the important plasma proteins. These are the most abundant substances in plasma by weight, play a vital role including clotting, defense, transport. Collectively, they serve several functions. There are an important reserve supply of amino acids. Plasma proteins also serve as carriers for other molecules. Plasma protein also help to keep the blood slightly basic in nature in the pH. The plasma proteins interact with the specific ways to cause the blood to coagulate. Plasma proteins govern the distribution of water between the blood and other tissue fluid by producing colloid osmotic pressure. There are three major categories of plasma proteins: albumin, globulin, fibrinogen. Albumin are the most abundant of plasma proteins. They made up 60% of all proteins. They are manufactured by the liver and responsible for transporting the different substances. They also help in balancing, in maintaining water balance, and contribute to osmotic pressure, which in simple terms is the pressure exerted by the water moving by osmosis in and out of the cells. Globulins. Globulins can be subdivided into three categories: alpha, beta, and gamma. They are manufactured by the liver, except the gamma globulins, which are produced in the lymphocyte cells of the blood. Alpha and beta globulins basically transport different metals, and gamma globulin produce antibodies against different diseases. Now, fibrinogen. Fibrinogen is another plasma protein produced by the liver. It is a sticky, fibrous coagulant found in the blood. It produces thrombin that in turns convert to fibrin, the main protein in the blood clot. It is also called factor 1 in the clotting factor system. फिब्रिनोजन का काम है कि जब भी कोई ब्लड वेसल रप्चर होती है, हेमरेज होता है, तो वहाँ पर जो क्लॉट फॉर्मेशन है, ब्लड को रोकना है मज़ीद ज़ाया होने से, तो वहाँ पर फिब्रिनोजन हमारी थ्रोम्बिन को एक्टिव करती है। थ्रोम्बिन जैसे ही एक्टिव होता है तो फिब्रिनोजन फिब्रिन में कन्वर्ट हो जाता है, एंड इट फॉर्म द मैशवर्क टू फॉर्म द क्लॉट एंड टू स्टॉप द further hemorrhage in the vessel. So that's the lecture of today. It was the very first chapter of the blood physiology from the Guyton, and we have learned the important points in this chapter. And inshallah, we will further learn and study the next chapter, the next topic of the blood, which is very important: the formation of the red blood cells.